talking about these XRP ETFs, pro shares debuting 3.
They are? Everybody's talking about them?
I mean, everyone
I
on
don't know
X,
about that.
world, everyone on X.
I think there are a whole bunch of people that are definitely not talking about them. But
4-year cycle? Is it over?
Yeah.
Woo.
It's over.
Okay, hold on. Explain.
People may have thought Bitcoin was anonymous, but I'd say it's pseudonymous, right? It's not truly anonymous. And, you know, there's a lot of work that we do with law enforcement, obviously, to try to track.
A little over a year ago, I found an old riddle book called Barely Bearable, whose main character is a cartoon bear named Riddle Bear. Here are some of the riddles in the book, and here are David Schwartz's tweets.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags, and they want all them empty.
What's up, good bitches? Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. Shout out to the latest sub. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We got XRP currently at 222. Deuces are wild. We got one from Wealth to pop things off. Ripple executive chairman and co-founder Chris Larson is all set to meet with the new SEC chair Paul Atkins May 2nd, 2025. Subject views regarding the stablecoin and market structure bill for digital assets. Congressman Rep. French Hill says we're gonna get it done. Regulation jar molasses is about to burst open.
You've been at the leading edge of technological innovation, and you obviously are in the midst of a stablecoin legislative right. You've got the same in the Senate. Where do you want to go with this legislation? Yep. And do you have a timeline? And what do you think the final product looks like?
Yeah. Well, first, I want the United States to lead in this financial technology arena like we've led in other technological innovations and adaptations over many years in the past, whether it's in communications technology or the foundation of the internet or in things as simple as the development of the smartphone. But if we don't get the rules right, we drive that innovation offshore into other jurisdictions, and the venture capitalists follow that innovation out. So if we want to make sure that we do it right, we need the right, I heard the commissioner use the term fit for purpose. I appreciate her copying our bill name last year on that subject. Fit for purpose regulation inside the digital asset space is critical. Because when you go to a peer-to-peer system, a more decentralized system, you've got to rewrite the rules and supervision covering the plumbing, because since 1930, we've done the reverse. We've allowed French to do business with Tim, and we do that through an intermediary. It might be a title company, it might be a broker-dealer, it might be a bank, it might be a custodian, it might be a real estate agent, but we have these intermediaries. And we then set the regulations for them, and they work to police our work between each other. So when you go to a more decentralized finance, that responsibility shifts to the buyer and seller more directly and is a lighter touch on that intermediary. So we are trying to draft those rules. 2 bills, making progress. We did this in the last Congress, but now we're poised to pass these pieces of legislation in this Congress. First is a dollar-backed stablecoin rule under federal law. Bill Hagerty, my classmate at Vandy, has introduced that bill in the Senate. It's gone through a Senate markup. It had excellent bipartisan support. We marked up our version of that bill, the Stable Act, in the House a couple of weeks later. We tried to harmonize those drafts as closely as we could. And the House bill also got bipartisan support. If we think that the future of global payments is going to have a tokenized payment on a blockchain rail, then you need a dollar-backed stablecoin under U.S. law, under U.S. supervision, with high standards of quality and disclosure and auditing to set the global standard that I think will really improve the trust in that product. Secondly,
Crypto Eddie, Ripple buying circle is not for the financials. It curbs competition, controls USDC, dominates the stablecoin market, sidelines smaller rivals, and takes over Circle's payment network that will be fueled by an IPO. How much is that worth? A lot. Second offer incoming, in my opinion. Ripple, Circle. Cointelegraph just in, the U.S. Senate will vote in May on the Genius Act. This bill sets reserve requirements and oversight rules aiming to balance innovation with consumer protection. A major step forward. Stablecoin regulation. Riz XRP Bitcoin maxis are very well in the know about XRP from the very beginning. XRP has always been a nightmare for them. Bitcoin maxis also got paid to spread XRP FUD.
talking about these XRP ETFs, pro shares debuting 3.
They are? Everybody's talking about them?
I mean, everyone
I
on
don't know
X,
about that.
world, everyone on X. Is
I
everyone.
think there are a whole bunch of people that are definitely not talking about them, but you and I are going to be talking about them.
We really are. So, okay, why don't you tell me about the people who are not talking about them? Who is not excited about XRP?
On crypto Twitter, of course, I mean, any Bitcoin, certainly Bitcoin Maxi, any Bitcoin or ETH or Solana focused person. I mean, as you know, I mean, the space can, carve itself off into its little groups. And the XRP army has been a thing for quite a few years. And I think there are quite a few people out there who are not part of that army who sort of don't believe in, XRP, mostly because it's centralized. And I think people have problems with the way that it was distributed over the years. But I would say, the one very impressive thing about XRP is just how long it's lasted, how many times it's come under attack. Do you remember, was it last year or 2 years ago, Gensler banned, we basically attacked them and then they got taken off all of the exchanges? I
vaguely remember this.
Yeah, they were actually pulled off. XRP was pulled off the exchanges. I think it stayed on Kraken. It's one of my portfolio companies, and maybe Uphold as well. I can't remember if it was one or two, and then they bounced back. And I think that Ripple, it's this Lindy effect. The longer it seems to exist, the more sort of strength it gathers, the greater the network effect is. And so I think it's pretty impressive. I mean, the first trades I did in cryptocurrency in 2012 were in Bitcoin and in Ripple at the time, through Uphold. At the time it was called BitReserve. So I understand people have different opinions about the fact that it's not decentralized. And I think people also question whether, how much is it really used in payments? And I would argue, and I think, and again, I haven't done enough work on this, and I am by no means a big XRP guy, but I do respect it for its ability to survive. And I think what it's turned itself into, the company, Ripple, has turned itself into, in a way, a holding company, a conglomerate of assets within the digital asset ecosystem. So I think there's value there, and I think there probably are quite a few people anticipating the XRP ETF lasting, also because it's made in America now, right? That's another thing we know with this administration. If it's made in America.
Cryptos are us. Bitcoin CIO believes that the Bitcoin 4-year cycle is dead, and this cycle will last much longer.
4-year cycle? Is it over?
Yeah.
Woo.
It's over.
Okay, hold on. Explain.
Well, I mean, so my view of the 4-year cycle is you have a catalyst that brings new pools of capital in. So 2011, it was the launch of Coinbase. Retail investors could buy Bitcoin, new capital, then leverage builds up and eventually it pops. 2015, the introduction of Ethereum. 2019, DeFi. 2023, it was Grayscale winning its lawsuit in March against the SEC. We're going to get ETFs bringing in capital. The reason I think it's probably not going to play out over 4 years is I think that's a longer inflow of capital than retail hot ball of money, which was the past 3. And then secondly, we have yet another of those catalysts in November, which is the election completely changing the game in terms of institutional adoption. So even if the ETF-driven cycle would have built up, leveraged, and popped and receded, we have this second tidal wave that's just so much bigger than that first one. It's going to overwhelm it. So will there be, pullbacks? We're seeing one now as leverage comes out of the system, of course. But the election was such a sea change that it's like, it doesn't matter. Yes, there may be this natural thing, but it's just going to get bulldozed over. That doesn't mean we've repealed pullbacks, but I think this cycle is going to be much longer than people think. I definitely don't think this pullback is the end. I think 2025 will be a great year. I think 2026 will be a great year. I think 2027 will be a great year. And we'll see about 2028.
What are your thoughts down below? Will the current Bitcoin 4-year halving cycles come into an end? Will we shift straight into a utility cycle? The current projected Bitcoin halving cycle that recently passed April of 2024 is projected to last until around fall of 2025, October, November 2025. Will the current cycle roll straight into a utility cycle? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Angelica get paid instantly. ZBEC payroll and USDC. Make it happen. ZBEC is proud to be a certified member of the Circle Alliance program. Circle Ventures was one of our earliest backers, and USDC powers our entire product suite from ZBEC cards to payroll. The CIA is excited about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is here to stay.
CIA thinking about Bitcoin.
Well, just like law enforcement, I guess, we are excited as well because, people may have thought Bitcoin was anonymous, but I'd say it's pseudonymous, right? It's not truly anonymous. There's a lot of work that we do with law enforcement, obviously, to try to track, illicit crypto payments by bad actors. I mean, look, bad actors, whether they're drug cartels or terrorist groups or, outlaw regimes, use cryptocurrency, but they used other tools as well, right?
They use dollars in cars.
Right. They used toner cartridges for their printers, right? It doesn't mean, we say we should ban all of those, right? No, I mean, look, Bitcoin is here to stay. Cryptocurrency is here to stay.
NFA crypto, not financial advice. Nothing to see here. Just a riddle book called Barely Bearable about a cartoon bear named Riddle Bear who writes riddles like, Joe Cats, bears are real.
A little over a year ago, I found an old riddle book called Barely Bearable, whose main character is a cartoon bear named Riddle Bear. Here are some of the riddles in the book, and here are David Schwartz's tweets. I mean, talk about riddling cartoon bear archetypes. The book is literally called Barely Bearable about a riddle bear, and David Schwartz's tweets look like they came right out of the book.
We got Dark Defender, March 16 projection on the left, May 1st realization on the right. Wave B of BTC hit our Fibonacci level at 95,645. Wave B invalidation level is at 103,641. We expect the Wave C start in June. NFA interpretation, XRP all-time high soon. XRP punky, XRP on the weekly chart. Beautiful bull pennant ready for a breakout. Once we complete this final pullback to $1.82, the technical target of this bull pennant is around $13 to $14. There'll be more pullbacks along the way to $14. Remember to stagger out your profits. And with that being said, Batman bag ladies, XRP is not dead, it's loading. XRP is not dead, it's just getting started. Here's why XRP could be the biggest sleeping giant in crypto and why 99% aren't ready for it. What's coming, a 10-year setup you ignored. The legal battle that changed everything. The institutional money is knocking. XRP is aiming at a $150 trillion market. The ETF domino is in motion. Price action is boring on purpose. Integration is already happening. People hating on XRP is the alpha. In summary, XRP is battle tested, institutionally aligned, legally resilient, technologically deployed, faster, cheaper, more efficient, no more middleman. XRP, the bridge asset, the only digital asset with legal clarity, with utility. The snowball ripple effect isn't full effect, and the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP. Rich list, top 10% holder, 2,500 XRP. The top 1% holder, 51,300 XRP. And the top 0.1% holder, 381,000 XRP. With that being said, Batman bag ladies, appreciate you stopping by, tuning in for another one. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? We'll catch you up here on the mothership. I am the XRP Bagman, the Moon Commander, BYOB. Bring your own bags, be your own bank, be your own boss. And don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Welcome to the party. This a moon party. Hey, this a moon party. Hey, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. This a moon party. This a moon Welcome to the party, we don't play around here. Moon suit